Beginning in the 1970s as a mail-order catalog, the Surfcaster has long been known as the source for hard-to-find surf fishing gear, and I've been personally shopping with them since the 1980s. They offer honest advice and the best recommendations regardless of your experience level, and will tailor their suggestions to what you actually need.
As you would expect from a business that's been serving the surfcasting community for 50 years, their prices are competitive and delivery is always quick and secure. They want you to have the best possible experience in the surf and have the knowledge and inventory to put the right gear in your hands to make that happen. So check out the Surfcaster at www.thesurfcaster.com, and if you're in the area, stop into their brand new brick and mortar store in Shelton, Connecticut.
So what do you think of this upcoming hurricane, the first one of the season? Any thoughts on what it might do to the fishing?
Well, I'll tell you right now, man, I mean, as soon as this show's over, I'm out of here. But I would say you want to get in the bays, and I have a hunch I'm going to go over to the north side. I can't say exactly where I'm going to fish, but it's 10 minutes from my house. It's really good. So I'm going to have some wind in my face, and this place is known to put out in that wind. And I think the beaches are going to really chow it up again. I mean, we just got rid of the mung. So here we are breaking down in the moon. It's kind of annoying, but I mean, you got to take advantage of it before it hits.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm heading out as soon as we're done as well. So we'll see where that goes.
Same.
All three of us, let's get this over with. Speaking of which, welcome to the Surfcast Podcast. Let's jump right into it. We have a special guest this week. As you've already heard, the famous Dave Manzi, better known as Bassmaster of Bassmaster Lures. Dave, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Yeah, you were definitely one of the guys we wanted to have on, and chance encounter at the Saltwater Edge show this spring brought it back around. We, I don't know, you and I hadn't connected in some time. We've known each other. Geez, we were talking, it's almost pushing 30 years now, so it was good to catch up with you, and definitely wanted to have you on. So I think we got an interesting subject today, but before we get into the subject.
Definitely a unique subject.
Yes, yeah, it's something we haven't touched upon at all. I don't even think we've said the word of what it is before, so...
oh boy.
But before we get into it, we like to touch base with all of our guests and kind of get a feel how their season's going so far. You don't need to give us any hard details of where you've been fishing. You're pretty much known as a Cape Cod guy, but you fish around. So how's your season been? How's it kind of compare so far to last couple of years? Any thoughts on it?
Well, 2 years ago was epic. I got a 50-pound bass and multiple 40s. I got so many, it was just make your head spin. Last year started out really good. I had a couple of fish almost pull me in the water because I had my drag too tight with the VS 250 and a Surf Machine Elite. So anyway, and this year we thought I was going to start good. We were jonesing to fish. I mean jonesing. We were out there early April, and it was kind of slow. And then we got some fish, maybe 15 pounds, and we were big pros. Those 15 pounders must have been 38 pounds by the time we were done looking at them. But it started to materialize. We got into some decent fish. We got some larger fish. Then it just stopped. It just was not consistent. I mean, May came around, it got consistent, and it was either we had bad wind or it was just off. It was just really, honestly, was off. I had some early, my lures, I'll just say my lures were, I have an A40 by Mike Fixter, and I was using that, my banana, my slim, and my Danny, the usual garbage I throw, no needles, kind of early, and that was pretty much, the early season stuff, but it just has not been a good year this year. I mean, I can't tell. I've been getting skunked a lot, man. And I mean, I've been pounding sand. I've been in the bay. I've been in other places. I'd rather not say, but this year's bad. A lot of people are bitching. A lot of people are seriously aggravated. I mean, now's the time to buy gear because I guess my friends always calling me, "Oh, look at this on Facebook or whatever." But I know, I think it was the early 2000. 2010 or 2006 started to peter out. I mean, this year it kind of reminds me of maybe 85 or 84, they're the early 80s, and it came back, I think, in 85 it started to turn around, but and the best kept secret was the early 90s and the 90s. There was a lot of big fish, but this season has been rancid. And when it sets up, something happens where it's changed. It started to set up, and now we got this crap going on, with this wind. So I have no idea what it's going to do to the beaches. I don't know how bad it's going to get chowed. And we got to remember that word, mung. It brings the mung. And we just got rid of the mung, But, I mean, I walked like 4 miles like 2 weeks ago, and I got skunked. And I should have had fish. I didn't have anything, But it just...
How do you deal with the mung? Or do you just not deal with it? Do you just walk away, or what do you do?
Well, back in the old days, we would drag our reels through it, if it wasn't bad. I mean, if you have a clothes hanger and you cut your line, you're like, oh, man. But, if it's light, I don't do the FG knot or any of that. I tried that. I'm still old school, like I take a small spro, I paddle them out, I make a leader. I paddle them out to a breakaway, and I paddle them out to the swivel, and then I just paddle them out and on. I use Super Slick. I switched up to 40 pounds to combat seals, so...
So there's no real way around the mung then? You don't really.
If you can work through it, but you can find clear spots if you look. Sometimes it's just so bad. Like I was at a particular beach in Truro, and it was just like unfishable. I mean, you can't. But I mean, if it's light, and I'll tell you, I was down at Coast Guard Beach in Eastham, and I went over to Coast Guard Light because I wanted to walk down to the inlet. And I'm walking, and it was just nasty mung. And I walk around the bend, and it was clean, I mean, it was clean. I could actually fish. I fished out front, and I made it out to the inlet, and I fished there, and I went through the bag about 7 times, and I did my walk back, and I was home by like 10 in the morning, but that's what they call fishing. But the point I'm trying to make is with the mung, a lot of the beaches will probably be bombed with it, but if it's light, don't run away from it, If you can drag a needle fish on top to light mung, then I guess that's what you're doing. If you can't get a swimmer to work, but the needle will work, then do it. I've caught fish in the mung, light mung, but that heavy stuff, just forget about it. Yeah. You just have to get out there and go for it and see. It might be a waste of time. It might be good. You can find some spots, to fish. I mean, a bend or whatever, like if you're fishing down there and, you got Peaked Hill Bar. I mean, this stuff could be hanging out there, or it could come in and, there's a lot of bars that parallel the beach. And, once you get out of that, and where the bar comes in, where the bar comes into the beach or where the bar starts and it's blowing out from like a parallel, like we encountered that on Nauset Beach driving on. And the minute you get away from it, you can fish. But like you got near that thing, it was just like, you couldn't fish it. You couldn't even drag a Danny through it,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Interesting. So, thinking about the weather and the hurricane and everything, is there anything you're looking forward to come this fall? Like, is there something that happened the last few years or even the last 10 years that hasn't happened or happens every year that you're looking forward to? Maybe both? Is there something you can think of?
I just want to get on the outer beaches and just have one after another. You're going to get a first initial push of large fish. It's just like New Jersey, like right after October, they come, Columbus Day or whatever, the large fish come in from what I understand, and then they come in great numbers after that, but they're not them giant, cows, I guess. That's from what I gather. Pretty much the same thing, but you never know. I mean, they're always mixed in with it too, but that first push is usually a nice push. We call August our fall run. I mean, that's just been, how it's been. And I usually get burnt out, and like by October, I'm like, I could care less, man. I'm going to turn wood or anything. But this year, I'm going to try and fish late. It might be a late season. You just got to see if they come in. These fish have been breaking our balls, man. We're watching boats catch fish in front of us. Okay. I've been out with my friend Josh's boat. The bait is like everywhere, man, and then we have bait on the beach. We had like sand eels. I had sand eels, mackerel, peanuts, and I don't know, something else, bunker. I don't know what I said, but there was like 3 or 4 types of bait and nothing on them. But we're watching the boats right out in front of us. Just started casting, and it's been that way. Like the boating's been good. Like you go off Monomoy or whatever. It's been really good out there, and places before and after that, I won't say because people will probably get mad, but
Cutting your tires.
whatever, Yeah, I hope not, but, I do a lot of the after the fact talking, you know what I mean? So it's like not hot at the moment or whatever, but it's just.
So let me ask you a question. You said something I think is interesting because I've heard multiple opinions on this in the fall specifically, because I think it's sort of a fall thing. Do you think that big fish are mixed in with small fish, or do you think that they kind of are separate?
I've had nights where it's been a mixed bag, like you're getting 18-pound fish and then you get like a school of 30s. But I think more or less like the larger fish, kind of congregate. Now I was doing a lot of drone footage this year, and I had a lot of fish, like a giant pod at a particular place. I won't even say it, and I'm looking and I'm noticing, like for every, I don't know, like a 10-foot radius or whatever, there might be one or two like fish that are like significantly larger, and then you'll go, and then it's not a consistent thing with that, but there's like some large fish mixed into it. And I was at Rhode Island and I told somebody, I go, watch this, hold my beer, and I tossed the needle on. Everybody's getting bluefish and smaller fish at night, and I let it go to the bottom, and bang, I had big fish. The smaller fish are going to get to them, before the, I think the larger fish. I think they're just.
Yeah, they throw caution to the wind and jump on it faster.
Exactly, So I mean, but I can't. I'm going to tell you after this, I can't figure these things out. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a scrub.
You've only been doing it a couple of years. That's good. It's all right.
Yeah, just a couple of years, man. My life's on that wall, by the way. I got plugs going back to the 60s that I fished with, as a little kid, single years, but whatever.
Toby, can I ask another question?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, before we jump in.
You mentioned a couple different baits you saw, and we've been known to peruse the same general areas. And I'm just curious, have you ever seen whiting? Have whiting ever played a role in your catches or in good bites?
I've never caught any of them things ever, I mean, the last time I caught a fish like that in the family, it makes me relate to cod, and we caught cod in the canal, growing up. I mean, we did a lot of cod fishing, canal, Hull Gut, Plum Island, down the beaches. I mean, they were everywhere. Boston had them, and that's pretty much it for me. I really haven't,
I was just curious.
A lot of shad though.
Yeah.
A lot of shad I've caught. Jesus, they're everywhere, man.
Yeah.
It's weird how those have like shown up in a lot of places in recent years.
Catching them on the teaser constantly, big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a teaser on. I was getting shad, and then I watched those fish. I'm like, those things are coming in. You know what I mean? And I got a mackerel. I caught a mackerel. I put a little Yozuri mackerel plug I had on, because I didn't have any of my wood that were mackerel, and I threw that thing out. And I caught a mackerel on that thing. I'm like, wow, that thing's perfect. So I lobbed it out there, and then the thing's just freaking out. That's what started that knife for me. And I had bass on that thing, We had bass. This was, I don't know, it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. Me and my bro Andrew had like I think Andrew was with me. It's either him or Mike. I think it was Andrew. I can't remember. I'm so punch drunk with the knives. But we had fish to like 30 pounds, solid, like all night. And then I was throwing the Challenger, like when it petered out, getting right down, and I caught fish right into slack water, but I had to go to work, and then if I had stayed, it turned right back on, and then the next night it was just like I got one fish and it was nothing, here today, gone tomorrow,
Yeah. It's like Jerry and I were just talking about that potential before we signed on about, just because you find it tonight, it's not always. Sometimes it's the start of a bite, sometimes that isolated, you don't know, and it starts weighing into your choices and the way you zig versus zag. So,
well, I went out like, I don't chase reports. I don't give a shit. I do my own thing. You know what I mean? And I went out, and I guess I caught the last day, but I think it went on for either 1 or 2 more days. So I think it was a 3-day or a 2-day run, but at least I got into them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes.
I don't, when you start chasing reports, and I'm going to tell you, right, I'm really annoyed with people that are selling like spots. Okay. That's all I'm going to say on it, but.
Oh, we know. Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know,
We do indeed know.
I'm actually trying to be good because I'm pretty pissed off, man. All right, I had a beach all to myself for 2 weeks. I had monster bass. I had 1 week with the seals. I lost 18 lures, all custom wood, all my one-offs. Say prototype on them. I'm just a whore with the plugs. I can't help it. I got to fish them, man. You know what So I'm not going to walk away from 30 to 40 pound bass, 25 to 35, 40 pound bass. I'm not doing it. I don't care. You know what I mean? You just can't. These things are like, we're fishing. It's like crack to us. You know what I mean? And I just lost so many lures. And then I had the whole place to myself. And they zoned in on one of my lime truce needles. You have one. You have one of those.
The green one, yes.
Yeah, you like that. You like the way I had it set up. You thought I didn't know what I was doing. I got you. And anyway, I had like another 2 weeks or whatever it was, and it was that needle, man. They didn't, I could put an olive on, but that thing was every cast, and they were nice fish. So I go back. Nobody's on the beach. I didn't tell no one. I didn't say shit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, there's all these people in the lot. They were lined up from left to right. You know what I mean? So I joined like everything, man. I joined everything to find out. I was just on a mad hunt. Get out. I just wanted to know who this friggin' interloper was. You know what I mean? Or whatever you want to. I'm trying to be nice here, but I really want to. I really want to call him a fucking asshole, but you know how it is. I'm sure you'll cut that out. But
hopefully, karma will come around and bite him, and it'll take care of itself. That's what I always hope for.
Exactly. But here's a valid point. I'm going to tell you right now. This is why a lot of people get pissed off. I leave my house. I go to Nauset Beach, nothing. I go down the Hollows, nothing. I go down to High Head, nothing. I go down to the race. I just walk on in the front because I don't want to get on real quick. I go in the bay. I do some spots. I end up back at the Hollows, and then I leave there and I may go somewhere else, okay? If I'm really aggressive. I've done this. I've slowed down a lot. So I found my fish. I worked my ass off to find my fish. I'm like, all right, they're on the last half of the outgoing, and they're on the last half of the first half of the incoming, and then they're gone, right? So you put all that time in, then all these running on the beaches may take 1 or 2 days, right? So you find your fish, and all of a sudden somebody comes out there with all these jamokes and their came-out rods. How are you going to feel? How are you, honestly, how are you going to feel? It's going to piss you off. You know what I mean? The showboat and the stick in the chest out. Like I haven't brought my camera out. Like that night, I had some nice fish. I'm like, I can only take a picture of a fish so much. And, I don't need to take pictures with my lures because I don't give a shit if I sell them or not, to be honest with you. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the ass because like getting a plug out of me is like pulling teeth. So it's great for me. I'm the worst. I'm my own worst enemy. I admit it. But it just sucks, man.
Yes.
It really sucks.
Yes.
Also burnt another spot this spring. We used to be able to park there. Hey, guess what you can't do now?
Yeah. That's the thing that a lot of people don't think about. Yeah.
That's the thing.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. I will fucking see you on the fucking beach, dude. You fucking wait, dude.
He's coming for you. All right, let's bring it up. Let's bring some positivity in here now.
I can assure you, we're definitely not cutting that out.
Not at all. But
the guy pushing me that fall over. I'm 64, but it's just. Fucking burns my ass, man. I'm sorry. I'm rambling again. I can't.
Oh, it's all good.
I thought it could be good.
That's perfect.
I thought it could be good.
That's perfect.
No, it needs to be said. There's nothing wrong. It's nothing Jerry and I haven't said on air, off air, on the water. So it is. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But anything for a buck. I won't even commercial fish anymore. I won't do it. I refuse. Even if I got a boat, I would not do it. Fuck that. I'm all set. Nope.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Nope.
Yeah. Totally. So Toby,
I've seen it. I lived through it.
Yeah. Let's jump into the actual subject today. We are not. We'll come back and maybe in the winter we'll do ranting with Dave. But for tonight's episode,
I'm pretty good at it. Yeah.
We're gonna talk the banana plug, which again, it's something I don't think Jerry and I have discussed at all on the podcast up until now. So it was something we wanted to discuss. We were talking about it. We gotta go here. We gotta talk about it a little bit. We're trying to figure out who to have on to go for it. So we figured Dave would be a great option, which we'll get to in a minute. But for some of you who don't really know about the banana plug, just give a quick background, some history on it. It was created by Jack Freck, who was a Long Island fisherman. He roughly 71, 72, somewhere in that range, he came up with it. And after a lot of trial and error trying to replicate in wood an adult bunker, menhaden, pogie, whatever you call them in your region, that's what he was looking for. That was his goal. And it took quite some time for him to figure out how to do it, how to come up with the weighting, the shape, all of that. It's been written about in the Fisherman magazine. That's where it sort of first became known, this plug and what he went through. Around late 70s to 1980, roughly, was when it first appeared in an article form in the Fisherman in Jack Freck's series. He unfortunately passed away in 1982, but the articles have had life from then. They were reprinted at one point in time in the Fisherman. The articles that he did, the types of plugs that he came up with, have been done several times, different plug building articles. Dave Anderson, I think it was in 2017, did a modernized version of the banana plug through wired, which was around the time it was starting to gain popularity or get a resurgence once more. It's not really widely commercially available. I know, Dave, you make some. We'll get into that in a few minutes. Beachmaster made them for a little while. Clams out on Long Island, I have a few of those. It was mostly a little garage builder kind of thing because, as we'll see when we discuss that part of building, it is a difficult plug to build. But through all that, it developed this cult following. There was always people that would talk about it, and it was sort of backroom discussion. It was this mythical thing. So we want to jump in and see, where did you first get your hands on a banana plug? How did it get from this thing that was in the Fisherman, the thing the guys talked about, to probably one of your more sought after plugs at this time? I bet if you added it up, more striped bass were caught from the surf last year on plastic swimmers than any other plug, probably even more than bucktails. The reason is simple. For generations, the plastic swimmer has proven to be a versatile, effective, and affordable fish-catching machine.
And that's where the new Hogy OG Swimmer comes in. Unlike most of the other modern swimmers that all look and act alike, the OG Swimmer brings together a traditional design with modern enhancements to offer anglers with a unique and highly effective swimming plug unlike anything else currently on the market. With a unique wobbling action, it moves like an injured baitfish, and it's a large profile, chunky and tubular, and measuring in at 7 inches. Plus, with a downturn line tie, the OG Swimmer stays shallow, making it ideal for surf anglers.
All of this is tied together in an extra hard body that's through wired and decked out with VMC hooks and a hand-tied bucktail teaser. And just like the Hogy needlefish, you won't find a rear hook on this lure, which is better for the fish, better for your hands, and easier on your wallet. This is all part of the Hook One platform, as well as Hogy's new core philosophy: quality for today, conservation for tomorrow. To find out more about this mission, and to pick up one of these premium OG swimmers, be sure to check out www.hogylures.com.
Okay, so the banana lure, the mysterious lure, I got my hands on. I was fishing with, I was fishing with Paul Moriarty, and he had gave me a banana and it sat in my bag. And I was at a particular place and I threw one of my Dannies out, and I got a monster bass. They were huge. This is a week I got a 50-pounder on one of Paul's plugs. I just want to show this is a plug that Paul gave me, and I actually retired. I'm so scared. I was like epoxying and all of that, just trying to, please don't, I can't lose it. Oh my God, I got to take it out, But that plug is just, it's so mysterious, and it's evil at the same time, if that makes any sense. It starts, it just starts shit, you know what I mean? But Paul Paul Moriarty makes an amazing lure. I call him Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Perfect. Oh, you got a hair out of place. I break his balls. That's how great that he is. Paul's a great guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And we've been friends for a very long time. And the guy makes an amazing lure. So I got that, and like trying to get one out of him was like pulling teeth. I'm like, oh, so I got to learn this. It took me a year to get mine down. I'll show you. A couple of variants, that I make, and the ones that are beat to shit. I actually rebuild these. I won't. These things take so long to make, man, and you have to be spot on and correct, And Jack Fresh that guy was smart, and I love him because he was a fisherman, because he put stuff in that thing that was wrong, and I love it. It's like
in the article, you mean?
Oh yeah, it's like having the one dude from Jersey come down on the beach and hounding everybody back in the day, and you just send him on a wild goose chase. You know what I mean? He's gone. Hey, report back to me how you did. And then he goes. Tony Sharappa used to do that. I thought it was hilarious. I'm sorry, I know I'm going off, but
let me reference it. So so those of you might not know what he's referencing. In those fisherman articles, there was a blueprint of the plug, and not sure if it was done on purpose, probably, but the actual placement and measurements of the second belly hook was, I think it was almost 1 inch off. So if you followed it by exactly how the blueprint showed, it wouldn't swim right.
That isn't the only thing that was off, and I'm not even going to say.
That's the biggest thing that's known.
Paul gave me some hints and pointers, and it was secretive because he was taught, and I respect him for that. Pretty much, I just carved the fucking things, Dave. But and so I made one, and I'm like, it's lopsided. It's not right. So I had to come up with a set process, but I think tanked with a good person named Brian. 1 a.m. summer, he's on SOL. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he's mad at me or what. I just lost contact. I had a bunch of plugs that I wanted to give him, but I wanted them perfect. Actually, bananas and a few other choice things, because the guy gave me plugs. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. Him and I'll just say 1V dub on SOL. I won't use, and, because I had good ideas, and they had ideas like that just simplified things, so we put them all together, and then you learn the anatomy of the plug, and then it's up to you to get that right, and then you start doing your own little tweaks. And so there's a set process to do this thing, and I really can't talk about it because it's something you just don't share this shit.
Oh yeah, there's no problem. That's that's. I want the listeners to get some idea on the building, of where the genesis of your plug.
I mean, if you think you're gonna make these and mass produce them, then hey, good luck to you, dude. But
oh yeah.
So let me ask you a question. You may or not be able to answer this given what you just said, but you said they're really hard to make. Why?
There's a lot of steps, and I'll show you. See that? Mm-hmm. Imagine making
multi-directional. It's not turned on a lathe.
Yeah, he's showing the front of the plug, and it has a whole bunch of different angles to the shape of the plug.
You see how it's uniform? You know what I mean? It's uniform. So
it's hand carved and brought down. Yeah.
I have some modern tools that work great, but what's weird is I bought a Greenlee draw knife, and I sharpen that sucker, man. That thing will slice your head off, right? And I have some really high-end. I have a high-end spoke shave that it's beautiful. You can adjust the height and the blade, and it has like a bunch of different settings on it. And then I have my I think it's a Stanley 151, and once I leveled, it took me forever with my Japanese stones to level that blade out, and just get that thing to. It's so soothing to carve these, and just carving the lure, the grain, you can destroy the plug. You have to learn the grain and follow it. You have to just. These plugs are the death of a lot of people. I'm telling you,
high level plug to build for sure. Now I get one question on the build for you, because I know I've seen yours a bunch of times, and for some reason it's just, are they through wired, or are you using screw eyes, and why?
I don't use screw eyes. I do it the hard way. I make my own. I twist up my own. Yeah, making hangers, and then there's a process for that. There's so many steps to this lure. Oh my God.
Yeah,
you got any bananas? Go see Paul Moriarty. Fuck away from me.
Harass Paul for it. Yes. Put me on the list, Paul.
I've had 16 bodies that I got. Well, I just, I scribed them and I did my holes. Well, never mind. They're still, they're prep, but they're still in block form, and it's just, I don't know. I have to be in the mood, but.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, because for those who are just listening, this episode really is kind of worth going on YouTube and watching too. So maybe do that after, because he's got his wall of plugs behind him. I've noticed this about the banana in general. They're all generally the same size. Is there a reason for that? Do you make different sizes? Have you seen different sizes, etc.?
Yeah, mine are not like the original. Mine are thinner. They're a certain diameter. I don't use the wide ones. I had a kit that you could buy and glue it together. And that thing was super wide, but I'm all set with that thing. Nope.
What about what about lengthwise? Like, do you make? I'm curious. Have you ever made like a small banana?
I did, and when I was first starting out, I have it in my head. I mean, I'm a freehand lure builder, so I can pick this up and I can go, I know exactly what to make with that. I know where to, the weight place and all of that. And most of the time I'm on, but, I'm smart. I'll re-drill something out and I epoxy fill it with, I just fill it in and it's probably the strongest part of the plug. And it's not regular epoxy. But I could probably make a small one and make it anatomically correct. I mean, I have the answer to that, but I just don't want to say it.
Yeah, totally.
All the ones I've seen are like adult bunker size. Any garage builders that I've come across, that's what they shoot for.
I'll tell you, I've been building lures, right? I started around 92. Here's the first lure because, I lived on the Cape and we were back on the Cape was different. You know what I mean? I couldn't afford the $5.99. I think they were $5 or $6 in the early 90s for a Gibbs. I can't remember. You know what I mean? And I used to buy them other cheap lures, the Super Strikes. Oh my God, they work so good. Like I was getting them for like $2.99. I'm like, and Bob Hans wanted $8. I'm like, holy shit! But I gotta have that up the islands. And you're fishing through them trying to find the best one. And I'm bending the lips like a cheap. I'm bending them up and But I mean, them Super Strikes work good right out of the box. But I don't know where I was going. with this. But
well, let me ask you this.
Separates the men from the boys. I know that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this.
Plug.
Since they're so hard to make and there's so much mystique around them, is it worthy of the mystique? Like, are they really that good? Especially considering now they've been around for a while and people don't make them. Is it really just that hard? And are they worth it, I guess?
I have never, ever had a plug in my life. Now, I've seen pods are like bunker, okay? And I've thrown at them with my Danny's on top, my Wonder Breads. I have some up there that mimic that. And my Danny's dance, I'll work them on top. I'll do some swimmers. I might even throw Mike Fixters out there. You might get fish. I can take this thing. This thing is like walking into a whorehouse with a bag of silver dollars, okay? And throwing that money down. They are like ready and raring to go. I have never in my life seen a lure pull fish off a live bait to hit this thing, and it's just not me. I know there's other people because people that have fished my lures, I have a little following. They don't like, for some reason, they don't want to talk about my lures, but they want more, But I get it.
We don't want to push the popularity.
Like, no, well, you know what it is. It's like I am a casual lure builder. I don't want to be a slave to a lathe. I turn every lure I make is by hand. I don't use a duplicator. I'm old school. I've been at this game for decades, and I see a lot of plugs that are great, but it kind of makes me wonder if they can just pick up a hunk of wood and just, feel the weight of it and know what to make, but
yeah, other than just ordering it and slapping it on their lathe. Yeah, no love, no thought, no depth to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about an all-bone plug or an all-white plug, instead of having that, that plug with like 8,000 colors in it, you know what I mean? That just, I mean, all these lure bills, I see so many of these lure bills, I don't even know who they are. I think everybody's new. You know what I mean? I remember like the first Plugathon, it was me and Bruce May. You know what I mean? And then I
Back in
remember
his old wood shop. Yes.
I remember people coming. That's Mike Fixter. I'll have to call him back.
That's fantastic.
No,
Yeah, right.
I should have answered and put the chowder head on the phone. Mike Fixter is like one of my I look up to Mike Fixter, and I want to say this, and I'm serious about this. Mike Fixter brought Alaskan yellow cedar here. He brought the plugs. That guy needs more recognition for what he's done, man. And I don't know why his plugs are only like $50 or $60. I do not understand that one bit, because that guy, if it wasn't for that guy, everybody be turning their wood out of pine and red western cedar, which is a great wood, man. Great wood, and I epoxy seal red western cedar, man. They're tougher than the Alaskan yellow cedar because it really sucks it in,
Yeah.
But he's texting me. But
That's funny. So
I can call him back and get him on the phone if you like. I mean, I can put him on if you want, guest appearance.
You know what we're gonna have to do
next time?
Maybe what we'll have to do maybe next time is have them both on at the same time or something like that.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to get
Absolutely.
Fixer. We know we got
East Coast and West Coast plug building.
Yeah, we know we got to get.
yeah.
We know we got to get Fixer on anyway. So.
Mike Fixers, he's one of the founding. He's the founding father. He is the man. I can't praise Mike enough. You know what I mean? There's a lot of great builders from back then. And there's a lot of great builders now. I mean, a lot of these guys' plugs are really beautiful. Like, you looked at my needle and you were like putting shit on it. You did not swim it for us.
No, I made the mistake of not test swimming it before I started tweaking it. I was like, I'm going to make it do what I want. And then, as I told you when you were talking, then I dialed it back, started where I should have in the first place from where you had it, and then played around with it. Yeah, I should have known better than to assume it wasn't put together the way it was with purpose.
And see, Toby warned me, and so the one you gave me swam good right away because I had already been warned.
You didn't feel the need to screw with it like that.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was telling him, I'm like, guys, listen, do me a favor. There is nothing on the back of this lure for a reason. I want you to swim this thing with just that hook. And if you're really smart, why was it made that way? I'll tell you why it was made that. That thing floats at rest. It goes underwater a foot, and it walks like a glider.
It does walk like a glider.
Put a rear treble on it, you now have a slow sinker. It casts a little bit better and it'll act more like a traditional needle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Brooks Lee didn't do that. I hope a lot of people caught on that. You know what I mean? But whatever.
Yeah. Well, so actually, that's a perfect transition to the next question, which is that when it comes to a banana, how do you fish it? When you cast it out there, what are you doing? Like, what do you?
Do I really have to answer that question?
Well, you could be vague. Be vague.
Give us a starting point. If someone's got a banana plug, they were able to finagle one way or another. Where should they start with the retrieve? At least let's go. We don't have to need all your secrets on it, but starting.
All right.
Perhaps.
I would throw that thing out and just crank it fast and see how the wiggle is, and then slow it down and see where the wheel stops. Some of them wiggle right away, some of them won't. Grain is always different. Okay, you can play with the weight. Well, I'll leave that out of it. But how I do it is, all I can say. I'm such an asshole. all I can, I can't give I can say is, how you work a spook?
Mm-hmm.
But do it, like, if you saw me working, I'm going to tell you, if you saw me work on a banana, I jig that thing. I hate that plug. I'm trying to snap that lure off the line. You know what I mean? But I may be doing that, but there's something also that I'm doing. What I want, I'll tell you, what I wanted to do is I wanted to arc left, arc right. I did a lot of, pogie fishing growing up. Have you ever seen a pogie dying? Mm-hmm. You know how they turn on their sides like that and then they'll go again? Or they'll like kind of arc around? That's what I get the thing to mimic.
All right.
And it just, you don't get, I had a nibble. No, you get like, bam, I'm trying to bite you. I'm taking that thing with me, man. That thing's gone. They hit so violent, I hate being on the rocks with it when they hit and you're just like, because you've been doing it a little bit while, and it's just like they throw you off and they almost pull you off, because you have to, I crank my drag, but I have a 6, so I have a certain amount of drag that'll pull with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kind of go off that, and you can do it so hard. You can get the hooks to hang up and all of that, but this will, it's a lure. Like a lot of guys buy stuff and man, this one's beat to shit, and they want to throw it out like a what's that? That lure, the SP
He's
minnow.
gonna say the SP minnow. Yes,
I knew that was coming.
Yes.
We have a hate for it.
And reel it in. There's an art to everything. Like, I throw it to, how I am with the needlefish. I'm nasty, I'm nasty. I even had Paul like, what are you doing one night? You know what I mean? And I'm tumbling that lure that you have. I'm tumbling it in whitewater. Don't ever walk by whitewater, ever. I don't care if you dig a plug in the lure. Pause it if it digs. They'll think of the sand, will hit it. But those fish are in that, And I personally like to be, the whitewater's here, there's the bar here or whatever, the whitewater's here, and then you have the hole in the bar. And I stand there for a reason. I can work a full stage of the tower without even moving. And I can walk the bar, I can walk up in there. I can cast left if they're in the whitewater. When they're not, I can go right on the edge in the rip. When not, I go right in the deeper water in the bowl, or I can go to the far side of the bowl. And that's been my technique for forever, I mean.
That's one of my favorite strips.
It's just elementary, I mean, I hope that helps somebody,
So,
I mean.
Let me ask you a question. Now I'm dying to know the answer to this, because I hope you agree with me, but is a lure that works by itself better or worse than a lure the angler has to work?
I think it's good. I mean, because you can take that lure, like you can take this juicy, I call him a Challenger, and
so big metal lip.
Yeah, you can swim this. This thing holds in heavy current. I was out in a particular bay somewhere this weekend with that thing, getting fish until a shark scared the shit out of me. But anyway, I can work that. I can reel that in, slow roll that in, and tip it. But if you ever plug that, you have to work it. If you're a really proficient angler, isn't it more rewarding to get that than getting that on the cheeseoid? I bought my SP minnow and I have all the flavors. I'm a pro, but I don't.
Yes.
As long as you're fishing stock hooks, though, right?
Me and my friend Mike were down Scotland and in Truro, right? And we walk in the daytime. It's got SP minnows on. I walked down there with one of my Wonder Bread Dannies. I tossed that thing out, and they're 28 fish. They were all looking at me like I was like, who is this guy? I'm now into like 18, 19, a low 20-pound fish. You know what I mean? I mean, they grow, and you just, and it's lazy man topwater, because I get to watch them come up and beat the crap out of the lure, and
yeah.
I'm throwing that. I was throwing my yellow with the redhead Mike Fixter, which I lost. I had that. The seals came around. I'm going to jump to this because I was throwing, and it was this lure I was throwing, and I was nailing.
He showed the banana.
I'm sorry, the banana lure, right? And that's a particular one, and I beat that thing like a redheaded stepchild. But anyway, I'm getting like 25-pound bass, and then I saw the seal, like I had a seal come close, and I'm like, nope. So I took that off. So let me do some top water, and I put my Mike Fixter on, and that's a yellow with the redhead, because the bunker, like the yellow, that the yellow and the redhead's great, bang, I'm on, nice big fish. So I have the thing, it's like the water goes like straight down, like 5 feet in front. It goes down 13 feet, I believe. And a bluefish came up and hit the head because the fish had it in the tail, and well,
gone.
That's
like, why couldn't it be this thing that sucks to make too, because there's special weighting in it? But I mean,
yeah,
why did it have to be one of his lures? It just hurts, But if you lose a banana, it's like you have to have a procession. You have to have the funeral for it. I mean, it's just.
Well, hopefully someone found that Fixter plug and understood what they found washed up after.
I don't know. Probably we're throwing a bone SP minnow for all I know. I don't know. Yeah,
but I do. I agree with you. I think that plugs that require some work from the angler are both more satisfying, and I feel that I'm often more effective with them. That's why I like
absolutely
the musky gliders, which is in sort of the same ballpark as a banana.
Yeah,
like some of the gliders, I like working them and imparting, because you can control it more. You can make it do exactly what you want it to do.
Yeah, I have some spooks that I made, but over there. I have a whole slither of whole row of Mike fixtures. Like I said, I adore Mike. I can make them all day long. I can turn them out like chiclets. It's an easy lure to make. You can just ass weight the thing if you want. You get it at a certain angle, go take it. If you don't like it, then mod it, whatever. But I just like Mike's work. But what's funny is, like, I had one of mine. They would not touch it. And one of Mike's, they wouldn't touch that. I put the dock on. And you know why they hit that dock? I'll tell you why. Because the dock actually, like, that plug's like, it likes to dive sometimes.
It does weird stuff.
Oh, and I'll work it underwater and get banged, right? But, the big reason why I think the fish did that? Clunk, clunk, clunk. Yeah. That clank. Yeah. That clank, man.
There's something about that tone. The tone of that plug, it's not the baby rattle. Like you said, it's like a thunk. There's something there that does something to the fish. And
absolutely,
I don't know what it is, but it does it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong on the SV minnows. I mean, it's a good, like, search and destroy plug. Like, I like to throw a black and gold chrome bomber. I bought like 100 of them and 100 pink bombers. I did 1 million charters with both lures. And I still have like 40. I gave pink bombers away through the year, but I think I have like 40 or 50 left. Maybe they're hanging. They're way down the end there, and like all the black and chrome ones are down there, and they're all beat to shit. And I have to like pick 2 of them, and I have 8 brand new ones in the package, including 1 screw tail. I have a cotton cordell, which is like a red fin.
Yep.
That's black and gold chrome, and that thing's starting to peel too. And I'm kind of crying about that, But
those are real hard to find. The red fins in that color. Whoa.
Mike Burke, my partner in crime, Mike Burke, right? He came out with that thing, and he's busting my balls with it. He's on fish, and I'm like, I got my pink bomber on or whatever, and I back then I'm throwing the Gibbs needle and whatever, and getting fish, and he had that thing, and that was just like the secret lure, and like was just buying them things up. We didn't say shit about that lure. You know what I mean? That's why you see a lot of my needles look at that black and the gold hue with the red around the eyes, and sometimes I'll dope it with a little bit of green, and my olive has the purple, a little bit of gold, and I hue that up. I mean, you've seen my lures. So I've gone. Go ahead.
So
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So speaking of, so now you're talking about other plugs. You've been talking about them. Has the banana plug replaced any plugs in your bag, or did it like create its own new space? So like, is it so unique that there really isn't anything else that it replaced or can be replaced by, or were you like, I used to use this, but now I use the banana?
Oh yeah, my plug bag's like I have my guide bag. It probably weighs 17 pounds. I think I have 18 or 19 needlefish in there, and it's just metal lips everywhere. But yeah, like things have gone out. Like I used to, what the hell's the lure? I used to throw down the canal, but you get the small one. It looks like a sand eel with the paddle tail on the end, the thin head.
The Savage. Sand eels.
Yeah, Sally Savage, whatever, right? And the Savage sand eel. And those things were kicking ass. And I bought tails for it, and I used to put them on lead heads. But I met some guy, DJ Muller, on the beach, and he had gave me a mega shad. And that thing has been in my bag ever since, And I used to have the Savage sand eels in there, and I have some heads. I just haven't made it in there, And like stuff has been replaced, and like I had a bunch of Bass Assassins, and actually I was aggravated on myself because they were like mowing the crap out of that this past Saturday, when they pulled it back and I glued it on. But I used to carry those, and not only in the paddle tail, but I had this like ignorant color, like fluorescent yellow with the thin tail on the end. Man, those things are like all over that thing. You know what I mean? I was like, what the hell? So like a bunch of the bombers would come out, and then like I had some SVs. Like I have a bone SP and that Wounded Soldier in there. The hooks are like rotten off because it just like obscure stuff on the side of outside the tubes hidden somewhere. Like I said, my bags are like, I don't know. I need help.
So the banana, I mean, as I said, know the plug, it's supposed to replicate a bunker. Do you find you have to have bunker around to be successful on it, or is it just produces when it produces?
It produces when it produces, but when there's bunker around, I was carrying 2 of those in my bags at all times. There's one, like one in my bag right now. You know, there was 2, but I had to move it out for a black and gold, like I make a torpedo. But like my bag, like you asked me, when you replace my bag's like a revolving door. You know, it depends on the spring, the fall. Like I could set up like I was my old Van stall that I got from Craig. You know, way back in the day when I was in their guide program or whatever. And I still have my old Van stalls. You know what I mean? And that bag is still kicking ass, but it's like I have, you know, I haven't taken up, but that was like my spring bag. And I just been like, I pull stuff out, it goes in and like, I'm like, oh, I need this small plug right away. Like I have this little lure stuffed away. It's the magic swimmer, but it's about that long.
Oh yeah.
And I drilled a hole in that thing. I doped it up. I closed it up. I changed the hook out, and that thing and the pobbers, man, oh my God, dude. When I can remember it's in there, you know, it kicks ass. But like you can take a plug and dope it up. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, you just do what you want to make work, you know?
I think that's the 114, if I remember.
The medium size, not the tiny, not the giant canal one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wicked small.
No, he's the small one. I think it's the small one is the 114. Maybe that is the small. It was
like a mackerel. That thing just chows a fish at times. You're like, bang, I'm on. You know, and I'll keep. You know, I make slims. I mainly throw my slims. I can show you one if you want. I can grab one if you want, or not. I think you know what a slim is. You know what I mean? But like this thing right here, the Challenger. I mean. I got a lip given to me. I think that lefty lip from NJ Tackle. He says, Dave, I'm making these. Why don't you try one? So I turned like a large kid. I mean, this is different. We're talking like 30 years ago at a minimum, 32 years actually, right? No, actually, wait a minute. No, probably like 22 years. I'm sorry, I'm getting screwed up here. Probably around 2002 or 3. I don't know when he made them. I can't. So I made a giant yellow, like it looked like a Gibbs Stanley or whatever. That's what we did, and I neutral weighted it direct in the nuts, and I can't in the middle, and I can't remember how it swims, but I can tell by looking at it. Yeah, it's probably wide and rolly or whatever, you know. And then for some reason, I just all of a sudden I said I'm going to build a lure around this slip, and I made this lure. And I had one hang, and the body was like that wide. I tried in the canal. I'm like, no, this isn't going to work. So I'm like, this red Western cedar. I turned it down. And then it was still all over the place. And the secret came within the weighting of the lure. You know, the weighting. Like I'm so proud of this plug because it evolved like over years, you know what I mean? I had Mike Bombardiers, like I had 10 prototypes and I doped them up and they worked good. It's like, I gotta have one. I lost it. I think it'll bought like 5. I'm like, dude, they're all prototypes. I have nothing. I gotta have it. All right, here you go. Yeah, fine, bye. You know? Yeah, Mikey's awesome, right? And the kid catches fish, you know, and it's just like, but he bends these lips flat. I want to like crucify him. I said, don't you tell anybody I made that lure. They swim like that. You know what I mean? He took one of these, I bent that flat. Mike, I want to stick this up your butt. I swear to God, right? You know? And I do these in the bone. They're hanging up down there. They're in bone with the lateral lines, with the silver lateral lines, because that works good. White with the silver works great. So I did like the 3rd generation, and then I adjusted the weighting. The weighting on this plug is really, really unique. There's multiple weights in the lure.
Yeah.
Multiple, like more than 2. You know?
Let me ask you, since I feel like this is a natural question I have to ask. If somebody was starting out building, what advice would you give them?
Don't.
I want to catch fish. That's why I'm a freehand lure builder. When you start building lures, dude, don't paint the thing purple, pink, blue, black, orange, yellow, marble it, and then do another coat of pink. Don't do that shit, dude. Make yourself a bone plug. Make one plug, man. Make it your own. Build it around the lip. Go swim it. You know what I mean? Don't even paint it. Just go swim it, you know? And if that weighting sucks, then drill it out and move it back, move it forward, raise your lip up, you know, re-epoxy. You don't have to keep making lures, you can do this on the fly real quick. You know, the things that crash test dummy. But the point I'm trying to get off, if you get a piece of wood in your hand and you learn how to manipulate that wood and make that your own, you'll be a far better builder, man, because now you can pick any chunk of wood up, make anything you want for any instance, you know, like this lure again, holds in fast water. I haven't tried this down a canal, but I know it'll hold. You know what I mean? I was fishing this in hard rip where like your Danny said, roll out, or just come in straight, you know? I mean, it works that good, you know? You can crawl it and they're just going crazy for it. I have a little cult following for these. Like, I think Andrew says, don't tell anybody about them. I don't want other people to know, you know? I mean, it's kind of, somebody said that to me. I forgot who it was. I'm like, oh my God, guy's going to kill me, you know? But
So,
the only thing I can tell you is you can make that one lure, like, try and learn the fundamentals of the lore, you know? Look, everybody copies everything. Like, go take a Danny, man, and just make a Danny and see if you can get it. Like, take a Gibbs and like, I swim it, but this thing is rolly. I really have to bend this slip to make it stay on top. So go home and say, I want this thing to stay up on top. What do I got to do? Oh, I'll neaten up the body a little bit. And maybe instead of having that weight dead center, I'll move it back just like 1/8 of an inch so it'll cast. And I want to deaden it a little bit, you know, but I don't want it to roll out, you know. So there's a fine line with that, you know what I mean? You can take that, you can add another weight to a lure, man. You can do whatever you want. So that's my advice, you know. You're a fisherman first. Make something that you want to catch fish with. I know we all like fall into that and you do this elaborate shit. I would just skip all that. Make a white plug, a black plug, make it work, go catch fish on it. That is the start. That's the start of you building right there, you know? And then if you want to duplicate it, go get your duplicate. I guess that's what a lot of guys do now. I'm a freehand lure turner. I've always been, and I always will be. I had a duplicator and I sold that thing. I never used it. I literally never used that thing. I think I gave it away. Somebody was asking. Somebody asked it. I don't know who. You know, but
So, as a consumer, how about this? How about this? At the next, so in the wintertime when I'm walking around tables, and I'm looking at lures, and maybe there is a new guy or, you know, whatever. What should I be looking for? What's the one thing you think I should look for?
Look at his lures, like, you know, turn it over. I mean, you know, make sure everything is, you know, close or on. Look at the finish. But pick the lure up and feel it, right? But here's the thing. You got to ask him, hey, how's this swim? How's this lure swim? You've caught fish on this thing? I mean, how's it swim? What's it like in the water? Will it hold like, hey, I'm fishing the canal, you know, and the guy, if he's a good guy, go, well, you really don't want that lure, man, you know? But it will work if you throw it way upstream and drag it in. You're going to be breaking your ass. You know what I mean? And wood works now. I have wood that I've thrown in the canal, you know, but you just got to know how to do it. Like, I always say, hey, I'm fishing boulder fields and I need a needlefish. And the guy's trying to sell like an 8-inch needlefish that weighs 4.9 ounces, which is wrong. just, you know, like thank him and, thank him and, just move on. Say, that's not for me. The funny thing is that 4.9 needle out when you have 8-foot waves out on the beach, that'll work. You know what I mean? It'll
then
work.
you're with you
So,
about it.
yeah, you know, there's a time and a place for everything. But that's what I would do. Ask your builders. You know, I don't know all these other guys, but a lot of these guys' plugs are beautiful. I mean, they really are. You know, I mean, you got Lawson Loy makes. You know, I have his gliders. You know, and I've gotten some fish on it. You know, and they're a great lure. And my buddy Andrew has something about Goo guy. Oh, I don't know. He found a yellow lure, and I guess he likes that lure. He's been throwing that.
Goo Man, yeah.
Goo Man.
Yeah, there's a bunch of great guys, and I don't know all the names and all of that stuff, you know. But I mean, I just, you know, like I said, I'm old school. Like we went back, and I know a lot of the older guys, and a lot of old those guys that came up to me, and they were picking my brain. Like I remember fishing with Gary Hull and Ryan Smith, and
Arm Smith,
yeah, he makes a great lure, man. He's got the Danny. Look at the body on the Danny. You know what I mean? It's like there's a blessing, you know. Like go for it. You know what I mean? He's a great guy. You know what? His lures are great. The price is great. I have some up. I actually have some of his peanuts that are probably at least 20, 21, 22, 20 years old at least, you know. And I do fish them. I have some of his plugs that actually beat the crap, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, John has, you know, God bless his soul, passed away. You know, I fished with him. I did a lot of the, you know, you remember me back in the heyday, like everybody was up my butt. You know what I mean? And it was just nuts. But I fished with a lot of people back then, you know, and I did a lot of charters. You know, I had the good fortune of meeting John Merwin. You know, he was old John. He used to write, he was the editor for Field and Stream. And I didn't even realize it, you know, and then, you know, because he had chartered me and then we became good friends and he passed away. That sucked, you know. And Steve Shareka passed away. That really sucked. You know, we used to fish. We both lived in Falmouth, you know, and I had moved to Yarmouth to my other house. I got divorced, but story for another day. But
who's the best angler you've ever known?
Oh man, that's hard. I mean, I wouldn't even want to.
Who's a couple of guys maybe that you think you'd like to mention, or maybe some of the people don't even know?
Geez, that's hard. Now you got me like, oh my God, who do I think of here?
Yeah, you don't want to.
It's a hard answer. It's a hard one to answer.
But you know, like I'm gonna say my bro Mike Burke. We've been fishing forever. The guy is quiet. We call him the Grouch now. The younger guys I hang with we call him the Grouch. But him, Andrew. Josh, Jamie, I can't because I feel bad. You know, that's my problem. Like mentioning someone. John Habs was a great fisherman. Steve Shareka was a great fisherman. Tony Sharappa was a kick-ass dude. That guy could fish, you know. Tony Avalon was a great fisherman, even though we fight like cats and dogs, you know, cutting my lines, stabbing ties. Last time I talked to him, I'm like, I'm going to stab. I can't remember what you know. The commercial, never mind. Just forget it.
So wait, maybe Toby.
Mike Lamparelli, Steve, Mike Lamparelli, Ted Kelly, the big kahuna. I mean, the list just goes on. You know, he's a great fisherman on a boat is Bobby Rice, man. That guy can put some people on some fish, man. You know, there's a lot of great. I don't know who I left out. You know, I mean, I'm going to say my hero, Mike Fixie, even though I haven't, you know, fished with him. There's a lot of guys that can, you know, really fish, you know what I mean? And you know, there's a lot of new guys that can fish too, but they were shown the spots, you know what I mean? They were shown the spots. It was different back then. I had a Rand McNally map in my charts for the boat when I commercial fished. There were circles everywhere, man. Everywhere with notes, want to be there and here. You know, like I'll tell you, I'll give you one. I had to learn, you know, when it turned on, like I would get my first 30-pound bass on live herring on May 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. That was what I would do. I would get my fix and I'd start throwing Dannies, trying to get them to come up. I'd be an hour with that. I'd put the herring right on, boom, I'm on again. Like, you know, it's just like, come on, man, with the candy, you know. But on an incoming tide, on a migrating tide, but, you know, I fished the holes, I fished the islands. I love squib knocking. I got a ton of, you know, big giant fish out of there, you know, and you know, I fished some of the other beaches, and you know, my PB is like a 55, and there's a backstory to that. Like George Truman with Truman's Tackle, which is gone. He said, "Dave, can you bring a fish in?" And one of the kids that I work with he was a young kid back then. He thought I was Jesus back then. He's a great guy. He actually has one of my challenges, and he won't talk, you know. Anyway, but George asked me to bring in a fish, and I was in there, you know, I was getting like 10, 11 pounds of eels, and they came in the next day with the 55, and it was just like, holy shit. I go, hey, I caught that in Bass River, you know. He goes, you putting that on the wall? I go, no, I'm going right across the street from the boat, and I'm selling that thing, man. I'm going to get $110 for this thing. I'm gone, or whatever it was, you know, and I did, you know. You know, there's no fish on my wall ever, you know, but you know, just being on the Cape, making $10 an hour, man, and scraping by. You had an $800 a month mortgage, man, and you know your truck's rusted out from fishing, and it's a different era. You know, you actually like, a guy named Ski in a black boat from Falmouth. That guy was phenomenal, man. And it was me and him. We used to knock each other off the board every week. You know what I mean? And it was just like a nice camaraderie thing going on there. I can't even remember his name. He had a black hull boat. I know where he was fishing. I won't even say, because hopefully he's still around doing the same thing out there by near Cuddy Hunk, you know, or whatever we'll just say, you know. But
nice.
The heritage just goes back.
Toby, I think that this brings us to the end. What do you think? That's a good way to wrap it up.
Yeah,
Right?
I just have one question that I want to throw out there because we haven't gotten to this yet.
Perfect.
If some of the listeners wanted to get lucky and maybe acquire some Bassmaster plugs, perhaps,
Oh, man.
how might they go about doing that? Is there... What's the best way that doesn't involve hounding you every 10 minutes with a new project?
I would say I'm Bassmaster Lures on Instagram, Bassmaster Lures on Facebook. I'm slow as whale shit, only slower. You know, one year I did I think 100 or 150 plugs. I don't know what I did, but I mean, I do a set amount of plugs and that's it, I do know that I got to go to that show again.
Saltwater Edge. The Saltwater Edge.
Saltwater Edge. I had fun. I enjoyed that, and I think I had about 100 lures there, So I mean, Bassmaster Lures on Facebook or Bassmaster Lures. I mean, guys, if you're patient, I mean, it's fishing, dude. I just, I was trying to do a run of 40 of these, and like 8 of them are mine, man. Sorry, I'm doing mackerels. I need an olive back mackerel. I've never seen one of them over the sand that backs to an olive. I just got to say that, and I'm like, I want one. I just want one, So I got to have one, But I'm just slow, like I want to,
You're a fisherman first. You're not a plug builder out there trying to retire off them. You make them when you've got the time. So
I mean, to pay for crap, I do want to do a run of needles. I got an interesting run of needles I want to do. I'm known for my needles.
Oh yeah.
I want to try and do some Dannies, and if I can get 30 bananas, and I shouldn't even friggin' say this thing, Jesus Christ. Suck.
Well, that's funny.
I hate these things. I mean.
Well, we look forward.
Palmer, but
yeah. Well, we look forward to the 300 banana orders you're now going to get via direct message.
I'm not taking orders. I did that like 2 or 3 years ago, and it drove me shit crazy. I was just so stressed out. I was missing fish, But I'm gonna just try and do a nice run, and what I have them. I mean, it's my following's like a cult. I mean, I have some. The people I have, they're like, hey, I was kicking out. I got to tell you, hey, man, I was getting some fish on your lawn. I'm like, well, post it up. I mean, I don't want to know what it's just like, the people that know that I've been around, like, for building these things forever, it's like they know it's, they're handmade. They're not going to be spot on perfect, but the goddamn things catch fish.
Well, so...
That's the most important.
I mean,
Striper Day.
I love these, but they suck to make, man.
Striper Day, the plug day at Saltwater Edge is probably people's best bet to get something from you. You had a pretty good supply. It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's worth going.
Yeah,
so it's a good show.
I'm gonna try and post some stuff up. When I do get to it. I really want to fish, man. Right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And. Like I got 8 or 9 more bodies I want to try and get. That's just the bodies, forget everything else. And I have plugs behind me that those 2 racks behind me have been sitting. I don't know if you can see them, like
right. Yeah, he's got.
Oh yeah.
Right there. Those things have been sitting for like, I don't know, what month is it again? They've been ready since like, I don't know when, man. Like maybe late May. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fishing season.
Yeah,
but
exactly. You can't take time away from catching fish to go make.
I mean, hey, good things come to those who wait, guys. Guys, I like I said, I'm a casual lure builder, but I fish my stuff. I like to catch fish. Like if you want to hang them on the wall, man, just don't tell me, because it just makes steam come out of me. I can't stand collectors. And you guys, like, will you just fit, I had a long time ago, I got to tell you, I know you got to go, but a long time ago, I collect lures. I took the lure and I smashed it off the ground. I go, here you go. Now you got to fish it. I go, I'll give you another one. But, I just wanted to, just get fish hanging out of the mouth, man. I mean,
yeah.
I do have some, and I do put some up from time to time, but like right now, it's August, guys. You know what I mean? I work, I'm 64 years old. I do construction. I'm still laboring, and I drive. I get out of the tractor and I labor. I don't care. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm trying to stay young. I'm falling apart. Yeah. But, I'm still a beast on the beach, sort of, I just don't run up beach to beach like I used to.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Well, so people, the thing is, this is It's coming out. This is going to be coming out in the tail end of August, and so they'll have plenty of time to think about it and get to you at that show for sure, or or at least follow you on social media for sure. So, Dave, Bassmaster Lures, Dave, we are so happy you came on. There's been so much to talk about. I mean, there's so much more to talk about. This is definitely not going to be the last time we have you on, for sure. It would be fun to do maybe some shorter episodes where we do hot takes on something with Dave. I feel like that could be fun, so maybe that's something we could do in the future. So I just personally want to say thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll be passing in the night probably at some point. So
you guys are always welcome to fish with me, and it's Bassmaster Lures at Facebook, and I believe it's Bassmaster Lures on Instagram, but mainly I would go on Facebook and try and hunt me down, and I guess that's my plug, whatever, I mean.
Yeah, that's great plug.
I'm almost cringing saying it.
No, it's all because people are going to be asking. They want to know. I mean, we've got we got some great listeners. They're going to want to get their hands on them. If they made the mistake of passing your table at the Saltwater Edge show, they're not going to do that again this year, I can assure you. So.
One thing I like to say about that wall, a lot of those are used. You know what I mean? I mean, you'll see a run of them up there, and a lot of them are new, but I use everything on that wall. I mean, that wall is not for looking at. I don't care what. I show no mercy to nothing on that wall,
That's how I am.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, I definitely appreciate you coming on, Dave. It was great catching up at the Saltwater Edge show. We hadn't seen each other face to face in quite a few years, so I'm happy we had remade that connection, however you want to say it, and immediately the podcast came up. So I'm psyched we were finally able to make this happen. I really appreciate your time. And I know we all got a couple of tides to get to tonight, so before this hurricane hits, again, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
I'm so out of here, dude.
Thanks, Dave.
10 minutes from my house. I hope they're there, man. 10 minutes from my house. I hope the pigs are there. We'll find out. But I want to thank you guys very much for having me on the show. And it was really nice to see you. Jerry, it's nice to meet you. And Toby, you guys always have an invite, to come out here. And I'll tell you straightforward, if you wanted this, Mike Conley wants to go fishing and just got to wait. But in any event, you always have an open invite to come out, and I'll just tell you how it is out there. Either it sucks or it's spotty, whatever. But if you want to experience it, come out. It's great to catch. But I mean, let's face it, we all get skunked. I get skunked, dude. You know what I mean? We all get skunked. I didn't get skunked Saturday, but I got home at 2 a.m. too. It was pretty good.
Excellent. All right, take it easy.
Thank you guys, and have a great evening. Tight lines. All right. Bye-bye.
This has been a weekly edition of the Surfcast Podcast. You can find out more about the podcast at surfcastpodcast.com, or definitely check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, at the Surfcast Podcast.